All right. I think we are officially live here on this Friday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern time. We're going to do our Friday jam session. And today, well, we're going to be talking about something that I've been thinking a lot about. I think it's a big problem. And it was actually brought back up and really to my attention last night. Last night, we did a workshop, our email list building workshop, and it went well. We had a great show up. We had over 100, and I think it was 125, 130 people on live, which was pretty awesome. We had about 550 people register. So that's typical. You get about 20%-ish show up rate, give or take. It seems like those numbers are going down, though, to be honest with you. Which I'll probably talk about that another time. But some of the concerns and questions that came through, and one of them in particular was overwhelm and information overload. And so I said, I need to address this. I was taking my walk this morning and I said, it's a big problem because you're hearing a whole bunch, from different gurus or teachers or online, educators, and you're being blasted with information. I mean, heck, I'm blasting information out there, but I do have a fix for this. But I did want to address that on today's jam session, our coffee talk. So I'll officially kick that off here in another minute. Guys, let me know if you can hear and see me, and that would be awesome. If you are here, or maybe you're watching this on a replay, whatever, I did want to remind you, if you wanted to go watch the email list building workshop that we did, a brand new workshop, also a brand new offer that I presented that will most likely not happen again. So take a look at it. It's our email marketing accelerator program. I'm offering that outside of the academy. I've never done that up until now. I presented it last night on our workshop, but regardless, the workshop was awesome because we went through and broke down the 3 steps, the 3 secrets to building an email list. And we walked through a case study of us doing it. So if you want to check that out, head on over to brandcreators.com/workshop, and you can go through that training. All right. And there's some downloads there for you as well, depending on when you're watching this. If you're watching this later on a replay, I'm saying like a week later, 2 weeks later, most likely the replay will be down, and you can probably still go to this page, and there will be some information either for an upcoming workshop or maybe an additional piece of training there for you. So just go to brandcreators.com/workshop. If you're interested in watching the replay, we're going to keep it up till Sunday night. All right. So let's see here. Salma says, hello. Good morning, Troy. I can hear you and see you and see and hear you. Awesome. Well, that's good news. All right, cool. So let's do this. Let's go ahead and officially kick this off. It's Friday. My father's still here visiting. So we've got the weekend. We've got volleyball this weekend. So I'm going to get to it. We're going to knock this out, and then we are going to get on with our day, and hopefully this is going to help you. All right, so here we go. All right, guys, welcome back to another Friday jam session. And today we are going to talk about something that I think is a big problem. And this was actually, it came back to my attention last night, depending on when you're listening to this or watching this. I did a workshop last night on email list building, and we started to do some live Q&A, and I started to see a common thread. Now, I've seen this, over the years, and it's happened to myself, and it's that information overload. It's the information learning addiction is what I'm calling it. It's a big problem. You might be listening to this podcast, and you might listen to 3 other podcasts, and you might subscribe to YouTube channels, and you might be on someone's email newsletter, and you might be on someone's Instagram, and you're following all of these different people. Okay. One of them is maybe me. Okay. And I am producing content, and I'm producing paid products, paid programs, and I'm doing all of that stuff. And I'm just one person. But the problem is is people are following 3 different people, 5 different people, right? And then what happens is they start to get confused. They start to get overwhelmed. That's one side of it. That's where you're just taking in the information. And here's the other thing. There's like this hit of satisfaction that you're getting from learning, right? There's nothing wrong with learning. I'm a big fan of learning, but I'm a bigger fan of doing and taking action, right? So what came to my attention was last night we were on a live workshop. And again, if you're listening to this later, doesn't matter. Just understand that this was brought up to me during our live workshop. And we made an offer, okay, to work with us further in another program, in our email marketing accelerator program, which we're not going to be releasing to the public after this ends. So I won't even talk about that. It's a program inside of our Brand Creators Academy. But we presented everything, right? Which to me seemed like a great course, great program. I also bolted on some support things, all of this stuff, and I added in some additional trainings. And I started to hear that they're just feeling overwhelmed. They don't know where to start. And so what I actually did is added to the overwhelm in a sense, because they're probably not just following me. They're probably not just attending my workshop. They're probably attending 2 other ones, 3 other ones, 5 other ones. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, like I don't even know what I should be doing. And if I do join a course or a class, I got to actually show up and do that. And I don't know if I have time for that because I'm over here consuming so much content and so much information. And the reason why people are doing that, in my opinion, is because when you're learning, you're not really, I hate to say this, you're not really doing. Okay. You're sitting there, you're watching, you're learning, you might be taking notes, but you're not actually implementing. So my recommendation to anyone that is listening to this, anybody that is watching this, okay, you need to either figure out what that one thing is that you need to be focusing on in your business, okay, that one thing. And there might be one person that you resonate with that you want to learn from. You're going to have to tune out other people. And if that's me, tune me out. If I'm distracting you and if there's someone else that you want to be taught by all means. But you need to have a mentor. You need to have someone that you know, like, and trust, someone that you're going to learn from on a regular basis. And then what you need to do is you need to stop consuming free content and you need to pay for some content. Whether that's mine or someone else's, you need to pay. And here's why. When you pay for something, you tend to show up. You tend to start taking action. Now, if you've purchased courses in the past, I've done it, and you've never went through them, you know that you've got a problem, right? I've done it. I've had that problem. I've since fixed that problem because I'm only going to be focusing on what I need to learn. I've already learned how to create a digital product, so I don't need digital products and courses and all that stuff, right? Email marketing, email list building, I've done it. I've learned from other people. I'm done really learning about that. I'm now in the trenches doing it, and that's how I'm learning more. But I've learned the basics and I've done it for years, right? So I'm not going to buy a course on that, right? Now, for my Facebook ad stuff, that's constantly evolving. So yes, I am looking for help in there. So that's where I'm focusing right now. I'm working with a company, hired a private company that's working with myself and Chris Schaefer to help us manage that stuff. It's not an agency, but I'm working on that stuff. So my day, whenever I'm learning and consuming and then doing, it's in that area because that's where I'm focusing and that's where I know is the biggest lever for me. Okay. But I'm not getting distracted with the latest TikTok. I'm not getting distracted with the latest Snapchat, with the social media, with, the next hack, the messenger bot, like all of that stuff. I'm not getting confused with that stuff, overwhelmed with that stuff. And I'm not consuming that stuff. I'm tuning that stuff out. Right. So we need to stop. We need to stop this information overload. We have to stop learning so much and start doing more. Okay? Because it is a problem and it's going to continue to grow because there's more people that are coming into the marketplace that are teachers, that are coaches. Okay. Nothing wrong with that. But you have to pick someone and something and focus on it. So my recommendation last night when I was on my workshop was I was like, well, actually, this is not supposed to overwhelm you. This is supposed to make it simpler for you. But the problem is that person is probably subscribed to 5 other people. Maybe they're already going through 2, 3 other courses, or maybe they've went to 5 webinars and they don't know which one they should do. That adds to the confusion. But I promise you, if you choose what that thing is you're going to do, if you invest a little bit of money into that program or that, that blueprint, whatever it is that you're following, and then you show up. So what I did in our email marketing accelerator, and I initially built this for our Academy members. It was a 3-week, 3-module training. And basically what it was designed to do was take you from list building. So in the very first week, we're going to build the lead magnet. We're going to find the lead magnet. We're going to build the lead magnet. And then from there, we're going to set up our landing page. We're going to get everything ready, everything dialed in. So in week 2, we are going to start getting traffic. And then we're going to focus on traffic. Once we focus on traffic, we get that up and running. We start collecting emails. Now we do the follow-up. And the 3rd week is all about follow-up in the email marketing side. And that's it. So to me, you shouldn't be overwhelmed. If anything, you go in, you check in just like you would a class. If you went to college, you might feel overwhelmed because you've got like homework and stuff to do, but it's not going to be like, oh, I don't know which way to go, or, oh, I don't know what I should do next. You know what you got to do next. You just got to do it, right? And that's how you should treat any program, okay? So the little jam session rant here today, it's kind of turning into a little bit of a rant because I see this happening to so many people, and it is preventing you from actually getting results. It's preventing you from getting results. So you need to stop learning so much from 10 different people, 5 different people, right? And 5 different areas of your business. And you need to pick one, and you need to commit to yourself and to your business to do that. And then you need to tune things out. If you're subscribed to a whole bunch of people and you're getting emails every day and now you're confused even more, unsubscribe from them or create a new email address and only check into the other one like once a month. Not even kidding. Okay? Because we have to stop the temptation. And it really is like a drug problem. It's like if you have a little bit, you're going to want more. Right? So it's like, I'll just sit down and go to Facebook and I'll, go to like here, like if you're watching this on a Facebook Live, you're here. And now after you get off of here, you might go somewhere else and consume some more information, right? We need to stop that. We need to stop the consumption of information. And we need to focus a little bit on what we need to do every single day. And then we can get rid of the overwhelm. We can feel good. I mean, man, I want my students to go, okay, I'm going to go through this 3-week training. I'm going to show up. I'm going to go through lesson number 1. And lesson number 1 is me explaining exactly what this is going to do, what we're going to be doing over the 3 weeks. And your first action step is this. Go do it. And then I want you to come back the next day and I want to build on what we just did. So to me, the overwhelm goes away because we have an action plan. And this goes for any training. Any good training is going to be structured in that way. And then if you have support built in, which, what we did here last night when we were doing the workshop is we added Brand Creators Academy on as a bonus, which I'm not doing that again. Okay. This was a one-off thing that we decided to test. But I'm not going to continually do this because I want to focus on Brand Creators Academy as itself. Okay. But I'm adding the support element now too. So it's like, okay, come on in, join a program, and then get support where you get to have other people help you in the same area of what you are focusing on, not just, the next, shiny object. That's not what we're doing. Okay. So finding the right mentor, finding the right program, committing to that, and then getting the right support. That is the answer. And then tuning everything else out. Okay. So that is my recommendation for you. for anyone that you know that is suffering from this, because this is a big problem. The learning, the information, it's an addiction and it's a big problem. And if you don't get this under control, you probably will never get to where you want to go. I just have to say. And like I said, I equate this to being addicted to something else like drugs, or something else that, like, maybe it's gambling or whatever it is. It's an addiction. And it's becoming, easier and easier to get it, to get the content, to get that free information. But we need to get ourselves out of that spiral and get out of that overwhelm. All right. So guys, hopefully this has opened your eyes. Hopefully this has given you something to think about, and you do owe it to yourself to get yourself clean. Okay. And really, you can start over right now and start putting up those boundaries. Limit how long you're on social media every day. Limit how many times you are into your email program. Limit how many times you are consuming just information. All right. So guys, hopefully this helped you. Have an awesome, amazing day. This is one of our jam sessions. If you want to attend one of these live, you can head on over to takeactioncrew.com. You can get on the list over there, the crew that we're hanging out with right now. If you're here live, if you're not, you're listening to this on the podcast. But this is where we get on every Friday. We jam a little bit, we rant a little bit, we hang out, and this would be a way for us to connect, and for me to, hey, maybe even give you a little kick in the butt there every now and then, like I just did today, and say, hey, let's get out of that groove of information overload. All right. So guys, take care, take action, have an awesome, amazing day, and I'll see you on the next episode. Cut. All right, guys. Do you have any questions, any remarks, anything that you want to share with me on this? I know I went off on a little bit of a tangent there, but I really, really needed to get that off my chest because it is a big problem. And so many people are falling into this, and I want to help. I want to help. I don't want to be the problem, right? I don't want to be the problem. So Salama asks a good question here. Do you set some time aside every week to learn? I don't necessarily I don't have it on my calendar that says, okay, Thursdays I'm going to learn. Now, if I'm going through a program of some type, then I am going to dedicate time to go through that training and time to implement. Okay. So that is going to be part of that schedule. So like right now, I'll give you an example. I'm working with a company that is more or less hands-on with us. It's expensive, but it's what I need at this level in my business. So what we're doing is we're meeting once a week. We're going over our ads and our structure and what we need to do. And then they give us homework in a sense to where we have to do it. And then we check back in the following week after we've implemented it. So here's the deal. We hired a company that knows the ins and outs about the Facebook ads. I'm talking not your basic ads. These are like, we're going bigger than this, right? The basic ad stuff, we know, we get it. We run out our own ads. No, not a problem. But if you, or if we are, trying to scale things, it gets a little bit more complicated. So what we need is for someone to more or less that knows this industry and say, okay, this is what you're doing. This is what I want you to do next week. I want to test, new creatives. So by next week, I need you to create 3 new pieces of creative, and then we'll come back here and we'll discuss. And then that's what we do. But then we look at the data. So see, there's learning, and then there's learning from the data, and then there's modifying, tweaking from the data, implementation. And that's what I'm doing. Okay. And that's what helps me. That's what we're also doing for our Academy members, right? It's kind of like we have our 2-week check-in where we do Q&A, or we do a hot seat session, or we will, share something that we're going to be focusing on that month. And then we do a deep discussion on that. So that way there we can have implementation, but then also we can look at the data, and then we can make more decisions, and then we can continue to take action. That's why I like our Academy structure, because it's more live interacting. How do you choose who to follow? Well, if I feel like I'm just being distracted, or if it's like, well, I like that person, but I don't need to, like I'll give you an example. Like I follow Pat Flynn for years, but I don't really listen to his podcast much anymore. And there's people that have listened to me in the beginning and now they don't listen anymore. It's just you evolve. But I've also, I've also noticed that sometimes too much information for me is going to distract me. So I limit who I follow and when I follow them. If someone that I know and I trust is talking about how Instagram is helping their business, I'm not paying attention to that. It's just not interesting to me because I'm not going to be focusing on Instagram. It's just something I don't want to do. So you do have to choose wisely. But I also want to choose someone that I know, like, and trust, and also that I truly I resonate with. A good friend of mine, by the way, now, I mean, I followed him for years, was Ryan Lee. Him and I will mastermind back and forth. We'll get on a call ourselves and just kind of chit chat of what's going on. I love Ryan Lee because him and I, we have similar interests. We have families. Family comes first. He's all about the anti-guru. I am too. He's all about like being nimble, like how to create things that you can kind of move quickly so you don't have this big, massive business with hundreds of employees. Him and I resonate. So I follow him. Now I follow him also because he's a friend of mine, but I love his message. I love his model. So over the years, I have learned that I can't just go down, the rabbit hole of like what's shiny. That's what'll get you in trouble. Let's see. How do you decide when to invest money and hire help or time to learn and do? If you've been doing this for any period of time and you're just still where you were 6 months ago, you need help. You need help because you're not actually doing the work. So you need more than that. You need accountability. You need someone that's going to go, okay, what are we doing Monday? And then what are you going to do by next Monday? Right. And so you need someone. Our academy, and again, it sounds like I'm pitching here, which I kind of am, but our academy will do that. You can check in there every Monday. We have check-ins, and then we do our bi-weekly calls. So there's 2 accountability pieces there. And then, as you're building stuff, you're going to be held accountable. Or if you needed to take it up a level higher than that, then you need one-on-one. If you have one-on-one, you're going to pay a lot more for that, but that may be something you need. Or maybe you just find someone else that needs accountability and you partner up with that person. Say, hey, you hold me accountable. I'm going to hold you accountable. But if you're not getting the stuff done and you're just consuming, you need someone to help you and say, hey, what are you working on? What's going to be done by next week? Okay. And then you have those check-ins. So as far as, like I said, is it worth the investment? Depends on what you're spending and what you need it for. But you can do it literally by joining a membership of some kind that you resonate with. But the problem with memberships that I found that I've done in the past that are sometimes more distracting because they offer so much stuff. It's like, what do I do first? And that's why we have our roadmaps in place. Like I've learned what has helped me in memberships, and now I've transferred that over into our academy. So anyway, guys, that is going to wrap up our jam session. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. I will be back here Monday for our Monday mindset. And in the meantime, I want you guys to get out there and really figure out exactly what you need to be working on in your business. And then I need you to declutter. I need you to get rid of things that are distracting you. Stop learning so much and start doing more. And if you flip that stuff around, you're going to start seeing more results. All right. So guys, take care, take action, have an awesome, amazing day. And I'll see you on the next Coffee Talk. I'll see you soon.